to build up resilience among the students, we need to help them to cope with stress. And that, I think, is the responsibility of the parents, the teachers, and the society. The entire society should think of it as their responsibility to see to it that a child grows without stress. I had a student who was hyperactive in class, did not pay attention, couldn't do anything. But when we took him to the Mother Teresa's home, he was feeding a disabled very patiently. I know of a friend of mine whose nephew got 92% marks and committed suicide just after the 12th results came out. He did not get a certain percentage needed for getting into MBBS. Life skills and how to deal with problems is something we need to teach them right from the baby stage, right from kindergarten. Sanjana spoke on play, pedagogy to be play based and joyful to the learner. How she wants it to be a choice, a wonder, and delight. That is beautiful. It's so important that the children enjoy their learning, and especially the early childhood care and education that they have according to the national education policy now. Unfortunately, the infrastructure for it is not available in the schools. Many schools, about 80% of the schools, don't have the infrastructure. They're not able to afford to do exactly what is instructed by the government. That's where we fall back on. Um, Azizuddin, sir, had spoken on how to manage stress. That is important, where to build up resilience among the students, we need to help them to cope with stress. And that, I think, is the responsibility of the parents, the teachers, and the society. As Elish has written in Deschooling Society, every person the child needs is an education for the child. The entire society should think of it as their responsibility to see to it that a child grows without stress. So every individual, we need to create a culture, a society which thinks that children should grow and develop in a healthy manner. Um, Miss Dr. John Tharakan, I loved his stress on doing voluntary work and extracurricular activities. I have seen it working. It's so beautiful. I had a student who was hyperactive in class, did not pay attention, couldn't do anything. But when we took him to the Mother Teresa's home, he was feeding a disabled very patiently. He was very calm and quiet because of his concern for the person. So I think voluntary work, community services are as important as play and sports and co-curricular activities. You see a totally different side of the child um, when the effective skills work. It's beautiful. So I liked his mentioning that, and also the terms buddy system. Buddy system was a super idea where the children can build up each other because they do go through a lot of peer pressure with regard to the way they dress, their hairstyle, the use of devices. There's a lot of pressure, especially the 11th and 12th. They go through this in such a strong manner. The impact is so great that sometimes they just back out. I know of a friend of mine whose nephew got 92% marks and committed suicide just after the 12th results came out. And he did it in front of his mother. They were on the 8th story. He went up to the balcony, looked back at his mother sitting in the drawing room and said, Mama, I can't take this anymore. He did not get a certain percentage needed for getting into MBBS. His marks were more on the other. Probably the pressure on him to become a doctor was so great. He said, Mama, I can't take it anymore. And he just jumped off the balcony in front of his mother, only son. So where have we gone wrong? It's definitely the responsibility of the parents, the teachers, and the classmates. Everybody. And the society. Why do we give so much importance to becoming doctor or engineer? Why do we give importance to certain professions? There's no need. We need to tell the children that you can live and be happy. That's more important. Life skills and how to deal with problems is something we need to teach them right from the baby stage, right from kindergarten. There's one student in third standard who came and told me his teacher had admired him for his well-polished shoes in class. The teacher announced in class, see, this boy polishes his shoes so beautiful, it's shining. All of you should learn from him. And one boy in the class started stamping his shoes and dirtying it from the next day onwards. And such students, if we don't punish and check, we are sowing the seeds of violence. We need to think of how other children also react when we think we are doing something good for the children. It was a stress for another child. The teacher could have done it in a better way instead of publicly announcing, maybe call the person call the child separately and said, okay, can you also do it? Instead of making it such a public announcement. We need to think of each child's mind. Each child is unique and thinks differently. We are not able to comprehend completely how these different characters, there are 30 students in class. We have to study the minds of between 30 to 40 children, how they're going to think. I also feel our examination system is not right, it's not in place. It is leading to a lot of stress for the students. There's one institution I know where they get instructions from the university to conduct examinations. The examination date keeps getting postponed. So the fear of completing the syllabus for the next semester is on the teachers. So they start teaching the syllabus for the next semester before the previous semester's exam is held. And the middle of that teaching, they conduct the exam of the previous semester. The children are taxed. Should they study what they've been taught now, or should they go back to the previous semester and prepare for the exam? When I ask the institution, why are they doing this? They say, the university is not giving us the dates in time, and we don't want our teachers to lag behind in completing the portions, so we are doing it. I like the point Dr. John Tharakan said, to make things student-centric. Are we thinking about the children when we put a system in place? It's only for the convenience of teachers to complete syllabus, or there is another factor. In all these private engineering colleges you find, they give the exams every day. There are 5 or 6 sometimes, yes, 6 papers sometimes, and the exams are conducted every day. The college itself knows that nobody can study the portion for the next day just overnight. They cannot prepare. And deliberately they put it like that so that by the time they finish the third or fourth exam of the week, the capacity to stay overnight and prepare for the exam is gone. So the last 2 papers they don't write, and that becomes arrears. And these arrears are collected. By the time they reach second, third, they have a collection of arrears with them. Burnout. And some students who are from very poor families, whose parents cannot afford paying for these area papers every year. They don't want to ask their parents to pay for it. Easiest way out, commit suicide. What are we doing to the children? Why do they do this? They are doing it just to make money. The more areas, the more money they can make. Are they thinking about the lives of the children? Are we making it comfortable? I do appreciate CBSE for the way they conduct the exams. It's excellent. They give gaps, they give preparatory leave, and the children are so comfortable for their 10th and 12th board exams. But the moment they get into these private colleges in under universities that rank 300th or 400th in the world, the certificate itself is as good as tissue paper. We need to correct our system, our examination system. We need to provide stress-free facilities for our children, and we need to keep their mind occupied with joyful hobbies, community services, etc.
Okay.
Thank you.